Now on CoastTV News.
Roadwork in Rehoboth will tell you when the city will be making repairs so you can be on the lookout.
Libraries offline. Local libraries scrambling to recover after a statewide cyber attack.
Sun, sand, and man's best friend when you can take your good dog back to the beach and boardwalk in Rehoboth.
And how to send help after Helene, what people need, and where to take donations to make a difference.
And we're expecting Tuesday to stay a little bit on the windy side, a little bit on the rainy side. We'll give you all sides of the forecast coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Concrete and curbing, what Rehoboth Beach is and now isn't going to be updating on the main avenue. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight in the city of Rehoboth Beach.
Roadwork is already underway tonight along Rehoboth Avenue.
The city is looking to fix the road and curbing on the main drag that leads to the beach. And as CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us, people are happy that these fixes are happening.
Better roads, better traveling. That's the goal on Rehoboth Avenue as the city looks to make some repairs to one of its busiest streets. The city has started fixing the concrete and curbing now and plans to get to the paving eventually. Vince and Pat Cadlebeck live in Rehoboth Beach and travel down this stretch of pavement all the time, so they know it could use some work.
Personally, I think any Rehoboth improvements is advantageous to the whole community, whether you're a local or whether you're a tourist. I think it makes it better.
It always helps. It always improves the scenery, put it that way.
Rehoboth Beach gets around 7 million visitors per year. Good for business, bad for wear and tear on the roads.
I think it's a good idea to get ahead of it before it goes, bad, because, these storms will come in and it'll be more of a mess than anyone would think,
Even in the off-season, Rehoboth is a busy, bustling place, and all this work is going to be done at night. A best effort to be as out of the way as possible while working in the middle of a busy city street.
Although the paving portion might not be done until next spring or even next fall due to budget cuts like DelDOT says, they're still getting started on the concrete portion of it tonight. Expect delays from about 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. each day of construction. In Rehoboth Beach, Brendan Conroy, CoastTV News.
We're going to take a live look now into Ocean City. It looks a bit windy out there tonight. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, and it's kind of gloomy, drizzly, rainy, foggy. Put Y on the end of anything dealing with how wet out feels outside, and that's pretty much what we have right now. Our Gateway Subaru camera in Ocean City, we're at 70 degrees with the winds out of the east at 14 miles per hour. We will begin to drop down to 69, and the rain should cut off right about 2 o'clock for us in Ocean City. That's not the deal for everybody. Now, with that in mind, we have a beach hazard statement that's still active until 8 o'clock Tuesday for Ocean City. We're watching out for beach erosion problems with the winds. That's what the pink is indicating for us with the small craft advisory. Coastal flood advisory in Sussex, that stays active for us for Tuesday for Sussex, as well as Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the chances of rain throughout Tuesday and how that's going to possibly complicate our coastal flood advisory situation. Charlie?
Paul? Today, Governor Carney signed a series of bills related to health care benefits for state retirees. The bills will prioritize funding for the state's OPEB program or other post-employment benefits. Those are health benefits that are not part of a pension. Right now, the program is underfunded by billions. This new batch of funding will set aside money every year, add funding increases over time, change health plans, change eligibility for future retirees and spouses. Meanwhile, the governor will not sign House Bill 377, but he is allowing it to become a law without his signature. This bill will require the state to offer pensioners first employed by the state before January of this coming year to a plan comparable to what's currently in place.
DenRec is hosting community sessions to get your input on updating Delaware's climate action plan. These sessions will run from 4 to 7 in each Delaware county next month. That includes on October 29th at the Cheer Community Center in Georgetown and on October 22nd at the Modern Maturity Center in Dover. You'll be able to share ideas, learn about current actions, and ask state experts your questions.
It's a frustrating situation. Sussex County libraries still without internet access after a cyber attack. Just over a week ago, libraries across the state and in Sussex County experienced an internet outage. The director of policy and communication with Delaware Department of State told CoastTV the only thing they can confirm is that they were hacked by ransomware, which is a malware that demands a ransom in order for you to access your computers again. This has left a lot of Delawareans like Larry Ruths searching for working internet.
Tried to print something this morning and I wasn't able to print. And I saw the message that the system was down. I found out that it's statewide or it's something bigger than just my little town in Laurel.
Some libraries still have no internet today. The director of policy and communications with Delaware Department of State says this is an ongoing investigation.
Moving now to Lewis. If you've left some items on the beach in Lewis, you only have a little bit of time to bring them back home. Locals must remove all items from the dunes and beach by October 14th. After this date, the city will begin removing any remaining items. Locals have until October 30th to claim their personal property, and there's a final deadline of October 31st.
Good news for all the beach and boardwalk lovers out there that have a four-legged friend at home wondering, hey, where'd you go? You can now break out the leash and bring them to the beach with you starting tomorrow, October 1st. Leashed dogs are welcomed back on the sand and the boardwalk, and it's going to stay that way through the off-season. The privilege lasts until April 30th. Hurricane Helene has devastated Florida's Gulf Coast with 140-mile-per-hour winds, 9-foot storm surges, and widespread power outage. Now Delaware is stepping up to help. Local politicians and businesses are teaming up to collect essential supplies for the relief effort. This week, donations can be dropped off in Sussex County at Old Paths Storehouse in Georgetown and in Kent County and the Kent County Republican headquarters in Dover. Officials say items like cleaning supplies, canned food, and bottled water are needed. The presidential candidates are weighing in on the devastation caused by Helene. Today, Vice President Harris met with FEMA leaders in Washington, D.C.
Meanwhile, former President Trump traveled to Georgia to survey the damage. NBC's Bree Jackson has details from Washington.
All eyes on the devastation left by Hurricane Helene as cleanup efforts get underway. President Biden vows to visit damaged areas later this week.
We're not leaving until the job is done.
Vice President Harris cutting her campaigning out west short to meet with FEMA.
Everyone here has been working around the clock
and is pledging resources to those impacted.
We will do everything in our power to help communities respond and recover.
The deadly storm tore through several battleground states, including Georgia. While touring one of the hardest hit communities there, former President Trump blasted the federal response.
They have to be focused over here. It's too big. This is a really bad one.
Both candidates seeking to demonstrate leadership against the backdrop of a tight race. This new NBC News CNBC Telemundo national poll shows Trump gaining ground with Latino voters. Harris holds a 14-point advantage, but that's the lowest lead for Democrats in the past 4 presidential cycles.
I love what Donald Trump did for us as an economy while he was in presidency.
He wants to represent the macho man and stuff. Me personal, I like Kamala Harris, like I said, because the way she is.
With 5 weeks until Election Day, the focus turns to the vice presidential nominees. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and U.S. Senator J.D. Vance face off on Tuesday in what is likely to be the final chance for both campaigns to make their case on the debate stage. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Senator J.D. Vance's debate rehearsal in Ohio was interrupted by storms over the weekend. They lost power at the site where they were holding practice sessions. The debate takes place Tuesday in New York City, and you can watch it right here on CoastTV.
We have more news to get into this evening.
Still ahead, a new wave of opposition to offshore wind. Who wants to take DNREC to court?
And also another legend lost. One of the greatest hitters ever to pick up the pine has passed away.
Your Bay forecast, watching out for widespread scattered showers in Cambridge for Tuesday. And Tuesday is going to be a bit wet for us in Crisfield. We will have your full forecast coming up in just 60 seconds.
I would never take a tax credit that I wasn't entitled to.
Angela Alsobrooks took tax deductions she did not qualify for.
Alsobrooks improperly took advantage of tax breaks she did not qualify for.
Alsobrooks claimed a homestead tax break for a townhouse she rented.
Alsobrooks is accused of improperly claiming senior citizens tax breaks.
She used multiple methods, which she was not qualified for, to save thousands of dollars.
No, I don't believe I'm above the law.
Maryland's Future is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We're looking for our first house. We're growing a family. The Parker Group and our realtor, Jen, they were great. Helped us get our first home. That was a very smooth, easy process, especially for our first time. Family expanded a little bit more. We went right to the Parker Group because how easy it was the first time. And before we knew it, here we are in our next home and we love it.
Our experience with the Parker Group was seamless.
Our realtor and the Parker Group was almost like a family in a way. They were there for us when we needed them. That was a big thing.
100% we would go with the Parker Group again.
Right now, we are dealing with somewhat of a messy situation because we have a lot of drizzle, light rain, occasionally some steady showers. But no matter how you mix it up, it's still dealing with wet roads throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula. But our Hershey's exterior camera in Ocean City highlighting that we're at 70 degrees right now. Now, the wind's a bit on the active side, moving out of the east at 14 miles per hour. Now, we will have a chance for scattered showers to stick around until about the 1 o'clock hour for Ocean City specifically. Now, that won't be like that for everybody, but at least in Ocean City, it should begin to taper off more dramatically for us by the time we get to 2 o'clock in the morning. We warmed to 74 degrees in Georgetown, 72 for the high in Salisbury, as well as Ocean City. Now, the amount of rain that we received so far, because it's really been such a light drizzle kind of a situation, only about just over 1/10 of an inch of rain for most locations. So we really haven't had enough to make a big hubbub about the amount of rain that's fallen, but it's going to steadily happen for the rest of the overnight early morning hours. Now, we do have some gusty winds that we have prompted beach hazard statements for Worcester until 8 o'clock in the evening for Tuesday. That's highlighted primarily for places like Ocean Pines, West Ocean City, North Ocean City, and really just south of Fenwick Island, watching out for beach erosion. The primary concern we've had for an extended period of time has been the coastal flood advisory. When we say coastal flood advisory, we're talking about those cities that are bayside or next to a bay or right along the coast, really our beaches, because you got to be and so we're concerned about inundation happening or flooding to occur up to a foot in some areas. Now, we have that same concern, coastal flood advisory, as we just kind of went over with you, for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico, and that's in effect until 8 o'clock. In addition to that, an extra layer of concern, so to speak, is the small craft advisory. Now, that stays in effect for us for Wednesday off of the Sussex County coast and going all the way down towards Chincoteague. And when we talk about the small craft advisory, we're talking about very active waves propagated by 25-mile-per-hour winds. Generally speaking, we're looking at a crisscross action that's happening with the scattered showers, some actually coming in from the east, and then some additional showers coming in out of the south. You see, as I widen the scope here, you can see a quasi-stationary boundaries to the south, and it's really mixing up more so down towards North Carolina, of course, where they don't need any more rain. But that's now beginning to kick up in our general direction, but it's just in the form of downpours. You see, Tuesday morning, we'll start off with some scattered sprinkles around Rehoboth, Dewey Beach, Long Neck, with the winds primarily coming out of the east. Cloudy everywhere, but a bit rainy north of Ellendale along Highway 16. Now, we freeze it at about 2 o'clock. Scattered showers between Dewey Beach and Bethany Beach. And then we have 24 and 13. Those highways are going to be inundated with steady showers, so a little bit slick then. Wednesday's a different story. You see, Wednesday by the afternoon, we'll have a mixture of sunshine, which you see clear here, and cloud cover right along the coast. But we're not worried about any rain for us by the time we get to Wednesday evening. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast. Okay, granted, we will have the rain on Tuesday. That's an all-day situation. But after that, we cruise on through increasing sunshine and increasing temperatures into the upper 70s.
Thank you, Paul. It has been a sad couple of days, first with the death of actress Maggie Smith, then singer-songwriter Chris Christopherson. This morning with NBA legend Dikembe Mutombo, and tonight, Major League Baseball's hit king and one of the game's most polarizing figures, Pete Rose. NBC's Kurt Gregory has more on the life of the man called Charlie Hustle.
Peter Edward Rose was born on April 14, 1941 in Cincinnati, Ohio, the same city he'd later take by storm as Charlie Hustle. The son of a former boxer and semi-pro football player, Rose signed with his hometown Reds out of high school in 1963. As a member of the juggernaut known as the Big Red Machine, Rose won back-to-back titles with Cincinnati in 1975 and 1976. A lifetime .303 hitter, he belted 200 hits, a major league record 10 times.
2-1 pitch from Shaw into left center. There it is!
And on September 11th, 1985, Pete Rose broke Ty Cobb's all-time hits record of 4,191. He would finish his career with 4,256. Along with hits, Rose owns more major league records than any other player in history, including at-bats, singles, and games played. After retiring in 1986, Rose went on to manage the Reds, but his days in the majors were numbered. In August of 1989, Commissioner Bart Giamatti handed Pete Rose a lifetime ban from baseball after an investigation revealed his betting on games while managing the Reds. Then in 1990, less than a year after the ban, Rose was sentenced to 5 months in a federal prison for tax evasion. Still denying the betting charges, Rose was denied reinstatement in 1992 and 1997.
There are some things that are so wrong that we don't lightly forgive them, and this is a very wrong thing.
In his 2004 autobiography, My Prison Without Bars, Rose would finally admit to gambling on baseball while managing the Reds, but said it was never against his own team.
Did you bet on baseball?
Yes, I did, and that was my mistake.
Contrition and admission fell short again for Rose in 2015, when Commissioner Rob Manfred denied his appeal, citing Rose's lack of change and acceptance of wrongdoing.
I want baseball and Pete Rose to be friends. That's all I want so I can say I'm not an outsider looking in.
In 2016, a day many thought would never come. Election to the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and the retiring of Rose's number 14. Pushing limits on the field made him a Hall of Famer. Pushing them off the field kept him out. Kurt Gregory, NBC News.
Tomorrow, Delmarva Sports Network will air Faith, Family, and Field Hockey, the legacy of Susan Pusey. Susan was a force in Pocomoke, winning 16 titles in field hockey over 28 years as head coach before passing away in 2015. That's at 8 p.m. on DSN.
And coming up next, the newest challenge, this time from these people in the fight against wind power along the coast.
Find your better night's sleep for less at Johnny Janosic. Shop now and get a $300 MasterCard reward card on select brand purchases. And we'll haul away your old mattress for free for a limited time only at Johnny Janosic's Mattress World.
I'm Mark Stevens from Hartley, Delaware, and I utilize the USDA's Wetland Reserve Easement Program to improve wildlife habitat for deer, waterfowl, and other wildlife while improving water quality. If you have at least 10 acres of woods or wet, unproductive cropland, you may be eligible for compensation to restore and protect the wetlands on your property. To learn more about the Wetland Reserve Easement Program, contact your local USDA Service Center.
Get up to $15,000 off during Jeep Adventure Days at McGee Motors.
Not just any Jeep, the legendary Wrangler 4x is now up to $15,000 off.
Or drive a Jeep Compass Limited now just $239 a month.
Hold on, y'all. It's also Ram Power Days with up to $12,000 off Ram 1500s.
Or get the new 2025 Bighorn for just $369 a month.
Only during Ram Power Days
and Jeep Adventure Days
at McGee Motors in Georgetown, a family tradition since 1948.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, like myself in flooring, to ensure you get the best product to fit your needs and that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your project.
They worked with me, gave me different options, kept within that budget, completed it on time. Delmarva Design Center was awesome.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
Find your better night's sleep for less at Johnny Janosic. Shop now and get a $300 MasterCard reward card on select brand purchases. And we'll haul away your old mattress for free for a limited time only at Johnny Janosic's Mattress World.
NBC News Daily, weekdays at 1 on Coast TV.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
A new lawsuit has been filed against DENREC. The Brady Legal Group filed it today on behalf of the Caesar Rodney Institute. The Caesar Rodney Institute is a conservative group favoring fossil fuels and against wind projects. They're challenging DENREC's authority to grant permits to U.S. wind for offshore wind construction, which includes future transmission lines. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappé shows us why the group is sounding the alarm over the approval process.
Local Sussex County fisherman Wes Townsend was on stage today as the Brady Legal Group announced its lawsuit against DENREC. Townsend considers the ocean his office, and he worries about the impact wind turbines will have on his livelihood.
The windmills are going to create such echoes off the radars that we're not even going to know where everything is.
The Brady Group is representing the Caesar Rodney Institute, a right-leaning think tank in Delaware that is closely aligned with the State Policy Network, which, by its own admission, is against wind power and favors fossil fuels.
None of the permit applications are complete.
Jane Brady is leading this lawsuit, a former Republican attorney general here in Delaware. Her argument today focused on the permitting process.
Law and the regulations they adopted require that approval for the zoning required as part of the project be done before the permits are granted. And in fact, it's a mandatory component of the application itself.
So far, U.S. Wind has not responded to these claims, and DENREC has given no comment. And in the past, DENREC has argued that the project will bring more than $100 million in benefits to the state through workforce development, dredging projects, and the mitigation of climate change. Townsend doesn't see turbines as a win for the people that frequent the coast.
I have friends of mine that live in Baltimore. They come here, they have a boat, and it's just a little boat. They fish in the Indian River Bay. Well, if it destroys the fish in here, then they're going to move, plain and simple.
The lawsuit was filed on Monday to the Superior Court in Sussex County, and they will have 20 days to respond. I'm Kevin Zappé in Rehoboth Beach, Coast TV News.
The Bureau of Ocean Energy Management will be holding a series of in-person and online public meetings regarding plans for the construction of offshore wind turbines as close as 3.5 miles from Ocean City shoreline. The proposed project would be in addition to the 114 938-foot tall turbines that are 10.7 miles from the shoreline. Those were already approved earlier in September. The meeting is October 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. online, and you can register beforehand. That's online as well. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know who should have more input in offshore wind decisions. Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier this evening.
Well, so far it looks like the results haven't changed too much from our earlier broadcast. We still have most people saying residents should have more input in these decisions. 12% saying government, and just a few saying local businesses, fishermen, and environmental groups.
Now, if you haven't voted, it's easy to do. You can go to coasttv.com, or you can pull out your handy phone, use the mobile app, and go to Coast TV News as well. Now, we'll have more on that one online. Coming up in sports, a Pocomoke field hockey legend is honored on DSN. We'll preview a special honoring the head coach, Susan Pusey.
And also Sober October, how kicking the booze for a bit is good for your gut and not just your waistline.
Well, somebody tried to tell me that golf was good for your waistline, but probably bad for your mentality. I don't know, but hey, if you just got a swing with cloudy skies, drizzle, and rain, then tomorrow's your day. Other than that, maybe hold off until the weekend.
The Today Show, weekdays at 7 on Coast TV.
We're bringing bright hope to Delaware by creating opportunity. As Secretary of Labor, I focused on preparing the workforce of tomorrow. And in Congress, I've worked to strengthen career and technical education. Jobs that might not require a four-year college degree, but do require skills. With jobs like these, together we can build the workforce of today and tomorrow. I'm Lisa Blunt Rochester, and I approve this message because our opportunities should be limitless.
This is for the savvy shoppers, the coupon code collectors, deal detectives. This sale is for you. This week at Johnny Janosic. Buy more, save more, with up to an extra $1,000 off our everyday low prices, or up to 60-month special financing. You can get this gorgeous sofa for only $999.95. Saving sleuths, find your deal. It's all going on now, only at Johnny Janosic World of Furniture and Mattresses.
The American black duck is an iconic species, well known throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. Although the population is currently stable, they're well below their population goals and they're considered a species of concern. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service looks to increase and restore black duck habitat throughout the Delmarva Peninsula.
I utilize the Working Lands for Wildlife program to help transform a low-lying wet area into waterfowl habitat.
To learn more about the Working Lands for Wildlife program, contact your local USDA Service Center.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
Growing plants is hard, but my plant at Grandma's house is magic. Whoa! It grows all kinds of yummy stuff. I don't know how it does it. Grandma, it even grew ranch dressing.
Wow. You're always there for them, and we're always here for you. Food Lion, here for every moment.
Heading into traffic news, you have some time, but there's going to be a long closure starting Monday, October 7th through February 4th. Miller's Neck Road between Old Mill Bridge Road and Dickerson Creek Road is going to be closed. This is a closure because DelDOT will be realigning Miller's Neck Road next to Old Mill Road. There will be detours available, but buckle up because, again, it's going to last months.
Well, it's a popular trend that's getting ready to start up again. Tomorrow is the start of October, and for some, 31 days of sobriety. Experts say taking a break from alcohol, even temporarily, can improve overall health. As Mandy Gaither explains, that includes gut health.
It's fall, and you may be focused on football, pumpkins, and frightening fun. But if you also want to zero in on your health, try Sober October.
Cutting back on alcohol, even if it's for a few weeks, will help someone understand the impact alcohol is playing in their life.
Gastroenterologist Dr. Arvin Morali with Orlando Health says alcohol has a significant impact on microorganisms in a drinker's gut.
There is good bacteria and bad bacteria. Alcohol kills the good bacteria. It upsets this balance, causes issues with digestion, and it can also affect the liver.
Morali says having unbalanced levels leads to inflammation and an unhealthy gut lining, which can lead to other health problems.
Anxiety, depression, fatigue, weakness. So a lot of these symptoms are indirectly influenced by the gut.
He says taking even a short break from alcohol can restore that balance and help improve sleep, energy levels, and reduces risk of certain cancers.
Even low amounts of alcohol increases the risk of cancer.
To have a successful Sober October, Morali says to get support from family and friends. Let them know this is important to you. Turn to an alternative, whether that's a mocktail, water, or a smoothie. And find hobbies or physical activities that can help you stay engaged without the temptation of alcohol. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Pocomoke Field Hockey is a staple of fall sports on the shore. And this is the 10th season Pocomoke Field Hockey is honoring their late and legendary leader, Susan Pusey, through living out the lessons she taught them. Over 28 years, Pusey and the Warriors won 16 state titles, went undefeated and unscored upon in 1994, and earned 8 straight championships from 2003 to 2010. Tomorrow night, DSN and former Pocomoke star Michelle Roberts will join Pusey's family members and other former athletes to reflect on the coach's career and life ahead of her Hall of Fame induction. Here's a preview of Faith Family Field Hockey, the legacy of Susan Pusey.
Coach, give me a few words of wisdom there.
She was an inspiration to everyone that she knew, or everyone that knew her.
Everything she did, she gave 110%. If she was going to do it, she had to give her all.
Coach Pusey was the hardest loving of them all. She loved in every way possible.
The special will air at 8 p.m. tomorrow night on DSN. And if you can't catch it live over the air on the DSN channel, make sure to subscribe to DSN Plus so you can watch it anytime, anywhere. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's vibrant coastal vibes with Coast Life. From hidden gems to sun-kissed trends and captivating local tales. Dive deep and immerse yourself in our coastal rhythm. Catch Coast Life weekdays at 4 on CoastTV.
Tacoma has a dominant legacy as America's favorite small pickup for almost 2 decades. Known for reliability and capability. Now buy a Tacoma with low 4.99 APR or lease an SR for $279 a month.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
Feeling the summer sizzle? Is it turning your home into a sauna? At FH Fur, we know you can't wait when your AC is down for the count. That's why we're offering same-day service, guaranteed. If we don't make it to you the very same day, you will pay a diagnostic or dispatch fee, plain and simple. So whether your AC is blowing hot air, your thermostat is on the fritz, or your entire system needs replacing, an FH Fur expert technician will bring your comfort back today.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
Rural communities are on the front lines of a changing climate. Farmers can implement climate-smart practices that improve soil health, nutrient management, and energy efficiency. These practices improve our profitability, resiliency, and help to open new markets.
We know voluntary conservation works and are committed to working with farmers and forest landowners to leverage resources to increase climate resiliency through conservation practices. To learn more about climate-smart practices, scan this QR code to find your local USDA service center.
For every season, every weather moment, stay ahead with the CoastTV First Alert Weather Phone. Just call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandalas, Brockstead, and Federico.
Hi y'all, it's April from Coast Country, and every Tuesday I get the honor of highlighting an amazing teacher right here on Delmarva with Teacher Feature. If you know a teacher who deserves some extra love, those who go above and beyond every day, head to coastcountry.com and nominate them today. Then tune in each Tuesday to hear their story. Teacher Feature right here every Tuesday at 11 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. Sponsored by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning and Vernon Powell Shoes.
Happening this weekend at Killens Pond State Park, it's the 2024 Becoming an Outdoors Woman program. This DenRec event offers hands-on activities like fly fishing, kayaking, outdoor cooking, and more. The weekend is all about learning outdoor skills in a supportive and non-competitive atmosphere.
We take a look right now at courtesy of our Tidal Health camera in Salisbury. We're at 66 degrees, a lot of drizzle in play, and overcast conditions. We're going to drop down to 67 and stay pretty much there for the rest of the day. Well, rest of the night. Where am I? It's time for us all to take a nap, isn't it? All right, so we take a look at our Spicer Brothers camera, and actually what you're seeing right here, that's a result of the rain that's actually pelting the camera lens right now. 67 degrees and partly to mostly cloudy skies there as well. Our coastal flood advisory is in effect for Sussex as well as Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico counties. We're watching out for the possibility of inundation to occur, at least up where you have bay cities or right along the coast. And we also have the small craft advisory that's active. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandalas, Brockstead, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling 10-day forecast.
You know, Paul, at 11:30 at night, I think it's just called going to bed. Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11.
For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next.
We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.